Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to some and peace out to the rest of you. Already know who it is and who it ain't. I'm going to skip the long introduction because I need to get into this. I ask you gentlemen for some counter-tropes to use against their ad hominem tropes. I got some from some of you, and shouts out to those of you who did send them, like I think J Ham and Ace Supreme. I really do appreciate what you all sent from the bottom of my black heart and the depth of my black mind. Now, there's one ad hominem trope from the gynocracy that you men are going to hear, especially if you point out anything having to do with the games they play and how they're rigged. One of these ad hominem tropes is going to be, don't nobody want you anyway. If that's going to be one of the ad hominem tropes, then you got to come up with a counter trope to it if you want to engage with them. And you don't have to, but understand what is actually being said and understand the truth behind that statement, even if you don't choose to engage with them. Because again, it's important that the young men and the new men hear these counter tropes more so than that we do. So we already know, those of you in my normal audience already know what the deal is. Most men are not wanted by most women. Most women pass by men and don't want most of the men they see. And really, I don't think most men want most women they see either. But the difference is that men may simply not be able to notice most of the women they see. Whereas most of the women can't even want most of the men that they see. Now, here's the thing about it. If you tell this to women, then they will probably try to deny it. But if you were to say to the women, if you were to ask a woman, do you want most of the men you pass by? She would be like, hell no, I don't. So in other words, if they are interested in most of the men they see, they would deny it. Okay, fine. Let them deny it. And that's fine. And maybe even telling the truth. However, their lack of interest in most of the men they see automatically exonerates any man that most women don't want, because it means he's simply normal. He's not subpar and inferior. He's just like most other men. The women just ain't into him. That's all there is to it. Naturally speaking, each man would be interesting to some women, naturally. And that's where the balance would come in. But we already know that in the West, there's a hive mind. So when a woman individually likes a man that her friends aren't trying to get at and for whom there's no competition, she will actually use logic to talk herself out of her emotion. And that is the one time they will do that. Because there's still one emotion that governs them, and that is shame. They're not ashamed to be sluts. They're not ashamed to have slut walks. They're not ashamed of these things as long as they are being sluts with the men that other women want. That's okay. They don't mind screwing 19 guys in 1 month if these 19 guys are guys on whom they can smell other women. They're still sluts. But they don't want to be a slut and a regular normal man winds up slipping in and manages to take advantage of that and somehow benefit from that temporarily. That's what they don't want. So even sluts really don't want most men. And that's what we need to understand. So because of that, the next time that any sister says to you, well, don't nobody want you no way, you have your counter trope already prepared, which is, okay, number one, That would make me a normal man, because that's the case for normal men. Number two, you are intentionally trying to get off topic because you don't want to face the fact that I just exposed how the game is rigged in the first fucking place. And you have further exposed how it's rigged because you know you don't want most men you see. Most women you know don't want most of the men they see. That's not necessarily wrong, but since that is the case, you automatically know that that invalidates any point you're trying to make by stating that don't nobody want me anyway. If don't nobody want me anyway, that doesn't make me inferior. It makes me normal. Now what? At the end of the day, we're back to square one. The game is rigged, and you tried to use a rigged game to invalidate me with a point that doesn't invalidate any man. It just reinforces the notion, really, that they have of men. As Jordan Peterson quoted a study to have said, women actually view many men as being unattractive, not unnoticeable and unremarkable, but unattractive. And that's not our fault as men. Therefore, prepare the counter-trope and say, if that's true, it makes me average. What if it's not true? Then what does that make me? Either way, that's not a point you can use to invalidate any man unless you're one of those women that's just super easy for normal men to get. So for that statement to be valid, you have to be a slut even to normal men. Now, what's going to happen in many cases is they're going to say, wait, what? You sound crazy. No, that's logic. That's pure cold logic right there. If that statement is going to invalidate a man, what you really have to do is you have to say to him that he can't even get women that most other men could get. In a nutshell, that's what you have to be able to say. Now, they're trying to imply that, so they'd be glad to say it if you told them that's how they have to frame it. But in a nutshell, that's not how they're framing it in the beginning. They're saying nobody wants you. Yeah, well, most women don't want anybody. And most women don't want most men. So that would make you just like 83% of the male population, somewhere between 83 to 7% of the male population. 85 to 93%, according to the dating sites studies that they did, to which Jordan Peterson referred and Obsidian referred. Don't let them come at you with that and use that to somehow hint that invalidates you or any man for that matter. No. If anything, it actually makes them sound like the sidewalk dudes that hit on any women that pass them by all day. And when they get shot down, they say, don't nobody want you no way. Obviously you did. You were trying to holler at her. It looks stupid, right? Sounds stupid when a man says that to a woman that just shot him down. So how much more dumb does that sound to a woman that says this to a man that's not even trying to get with her? Simply because he said, yeah, I can see that the game is rigged. I hope that this helps. Thanks for listening. Black heart, black mind, black out. Assalamu alaikum. And black heterosexual non-select male power just because they don't like it. And black patriarchy until extinction or judgment day.